Well, hey guys, welcome to Hope Talks. My name is Jenny Miles, and we are going to be talking all about worship today. So I have members of the worship team here with us. I have Dallin Moorfield, Erin May, we call her Erin, and then Amy Bowles. So I'm glad that you guys are here. Thank you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Excited to be here.
I've been wanting to get you guys together for a long time, and stuff has come up, and so this has felt like a long-awaited just gathering. So, yeah. All right. So before we get started, you may notice, but what we do are like, what's your drink, right? That's what we do here. Erin, I'm excited to see you excited.
Yeah, I was like, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what Jenny picked out for me. I'm a Hope Talks podcast avid listener.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm ready.
That's what we like.
I'm ready.
All right, well then we'll start with you, Erin.
Okay.
And then the reason, everything, all the drinks that were gotten today are centered around Erin.
Please.
Because, no, okay, so what happened is your favorite drink is listed on the Student Hope Instagram thing, right? Okay, and so Erin, she's a Dr. Pepper Zero girl, but it had to be in the can, which felt really bougie to me.
Yeah.
So I was like,
That's my favorite way to get it too. Like I love Dr. Pepper Zero in a can. Yes.
okay,
Oh,
that's-
it's nice.
and it's cold. Yeah, put in the freezer for you.
so good.
Okay, but so the reason that, the whole, you can't just go buy, in case you didn't know, you can't go buy Dr. Pepper Zero in a can by itself.
Okay.
You have to get the whole pack. So I bought a whole case of Dr. Pepper Zeros. So you're welcome to them later.
Oh yes.
Anyway, but because I was in the can aisle, I was like, well, everybody's going to get something canned. Okay.
Okay.
So then, Dallin,
Curious.
Oh, yeah.
you know what this is?
I've never seen that before. I thought it looked like, I'm not going to say what it looked like when you pulled out of the can, but
I was like, what? I didn't get carded for anything, so I assume everything is alcohol free. This is Half Day. But
Okay.
the reason that I grabbed it is because it had it's an alligator swimming.
growing
I
up,
just felt.
alligators are one of my favorite animals. So.
Well, I know that you're like into the reptiles. You like the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs reptile, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
You-
T-Rex.
The T, at Christmas at Hope, you mentioned that. Anyway, and it's a tea. It's lemon iced tea. Because of Kelsey, I just assumed that you would be like a sweet tea person. Is that true or no?
You know, in the summer, after I mow, a brisk iced tea in the
I
cans
like the
are
brisk
amazing.
iced tea. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Well, here's lemon iced tea.
Thank you.
Also prebiotic.
Oh,
So it's good
wow.
for you
Good for
with
my
only
gut.
3 grams of sugar. Yeah, good for you. That's what it's literally, it says
does
good for
say
your
that.
gut. So there you go,
I
Dallin.
promise I've never had this before.
It's gonna be
Thank you.
really good for your gut. You're gonna enjoy it. Okay. All right, Amy. My thought was I'm going to Salvation, getting Amy a coffee.
No, that was
because-
like the first thing
Yeah.
that I was thinking. I'm getting a coffee for sure.
For sure, because I see you at Salvation consistently. But then, I was in the can aisle, and I was still going to do that. But then I saw this particular brand of iced coffee, and I was like, ooh, Rise. Have you heard of
I haven't
this?
tried that, but that looks.
Nitro cold brew.
And cold brew is my favorite.
Okay.
1000%.
Okay. So would you prefer just regular, or would you prefer vanilla?
Probably vanilla if you have it.
Oh, good. That's what I anticipated you saying. Okay, so here's your drink. It's the Rise Vanilla.
That's awesome.
Okay, and so I've never, you may have picked up on this, I've never gotten myself a drink in this situation, but when I got Amy's, I got one too. Yeah, I was like, we all need to pop these together.
Okay. Little ASMR.
Do it.
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
2, 3.
Oh,
I can't do it. Oh, no.
made a
Oh, no.
noise.
Oh my, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
All right.
that's good.
So good.
It's decent.
Tastes like it's good for my gut.
Oh, it's so
Good. I'm so glad. Good for my gut. All right. Well, that was fun. Okay. I'm glad that this is.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. It worked. All right. Good deal. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump in. But before we do that, if you guys could kind of go around and just talk about who you are, maybe what's your family dynamic or whatever, where you are in life. Yeah. And who are you? Who are you, Dallin?
Okay.
Dallin?
I'll be happy to start. So, I am Dallin Moorfield at Hope. I am the worship director, I believe is my title. But outside of that, for everyone who doesn't know, I work from home for Cardinal Health, which is fantastic. I love working from home. My family dynamic is crazy because we have an 18-month-old who has fully transitioned from crawling to walking. So
Toddlers are hard.
Yeah, he's in yesterday. His favorite toy is our steamer basket for the Instant Pot. Like he just carries it around. So he's into everything.
Oh, that's funny.
I've been married to my beautiful wife Kelsey for it'll be 7 years this year,
Wow.
which is wild. And outside of leading worship, I'm an introvert. Like
Yeah.
I love being at home. Like we just built a house and like it is my favorite place to be. A cup of coffee, morning and evening for me. I love coffee at all times of the day.
Oh no, maybe the rise should have been for you.
But at dinner and like sweet tea is my jam. So you don't like sweet tea.
Yeah, I'm not a
saw
sweet tea
that
girl
last week,
at all.
but-
Yeah, it's okay.
That's as quick as I can be and succinct as I can be. So
Dallin, I think I appreciate you saying that you enjoy coffee in the morning and at night, because I feel like Trent and I age ourselves majorly in this way, but it is our favorite thing after we put the boys down to get in the bed and drink hot, like just a cup of coffee before we
it
go to bed.
helps me sleep.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't.
Yes.
I haven't gotten to the age, and maybe I will, but it doesn't keep me up at night. So
Oh, we 100% are decaf, like
Yeah, we
all day
Oh,
long.
no.
It doesn't matter.
I drink
Gotta have
dark roast at night before bed.
Wow, man. All right, well, that's impressive. That's impressive. Okay. Good deal. Erin May. I'm sorry, Erin May.
Earn May. That's funny. That's what people used to call me in high school. So it's funny. But so I'm Erin May. And I have 2 roommates that are like sisters to me, and we have made our little Golden Girls life. So no husband, no kids yet, but maybe one day. And outside of here, well, I do a lot here too. So I also help with the students. We just got done with Welcome Wisely this weekend, which was really fun. And I also help with the student band as well. And then outside of here, I work for the city of Burlington and in our water resources department. So, and I really love it. Like, I know it's kind of weird because it's like I work with dirty water and dirty water complaints and stuff like that. But we have like a little family there, and I love being there. And I'm an introvert too, so we stay at home. We love puzzles and getting sweet treats and DoorDash and
your soup Sundays.
readings. Oh yes, we do a soup every Sunday together. We just love it. So,
It impresses me that you can like knock out a book
oh my
in
god,
like
yeah.
a day. I feel like is that boastful or like can you? do
Yeah,
that?
I mean, I read 75 books last year, so my goal is 85 this year. I'm a little bit behind, so I've only read 8 this year so far, but
I read the whole Bible in a year.
But I will say, I do kind of cheat and do audiobooks.
No,
So
that's great.
That's what, but I like tandem read them. So it's like I'm looking at it as I'm listening. So it's like
Interesting.
yeah. So it helps. Emily says it helps. So it helps.
It helps what?
Yeah.
It helps you like
Retain better or?
like comprehend it better.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Okay, but that means you have to pay for both, right? That's silly. Nope, not doing that.
I have, so there's an app called Libby, and you can rent a library book through your phone or through your Kindle. And you can
That's
also rent the
neat.
audio version. So shout out Libby, sponsor me. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
But yeah.
We got some sponsorship, and also
Yeah.
let's go ahead and place our
Okay, yeah.
special placement.
I'm like
Yeah,
Kirkland
let's see
Water.
what comes from this.
So yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Okay, how much do you read, Amy?
I was surprised.
I'm just kidding.
I might have read 8 books in the last 8 years.
right?
I don't know if I even got through one whole book, but I can relate on the listening to it while you read it, because that's what I do with my Bible devotionals in the Bible app.
Yeah.
Like I literally, while I'm reading it, I'm listening to it at the same time. Because
I have
otherwise,
never
I
heard
would
of
just
that.
read the same line over and over, and like it's got to get in there.
Yeah, that is
You
really,
tell
that's-
me how to interpret this right now.
And you can change the voice, like the narrator voices
Yeah.
and stuff. So, but
That is
Yeah.
this is nice. I'm gonna remember this, and I'm gonna try to use that. That's cool. Except for that, I'm not the buying an audiobook. Then the
Audiobooks
Libby
are
makes
expensive.
sense. Yeah, yeah. That's why I said that. Okay, so Amy, yeah.
So
Go ahead.
I'm Amy Bowles. I'm like the old lady in the room, I feel like. But
Do not look at
I've got 2 grown girls in college right now, and then the younger one is a junior this year, and so we're a blended family.
Yeah.
And have an awesome husband. He runs sound here, Christian, and I do some work from home for one of our companies that we have together, but then I'm also in interior design with my sister. So
That's gotta be so fun.
Yeah, I'm like, I love that. It's really fun. It's fun to work with my sister, and it's a fun job in general.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I love that.
So you're impressed with my reading, but I'm so impressed with how y'all can take a space and make it look like it wasn't a blank canvas, like in an hour or two. Like it's crazy.
It's like
100%.
so creative and fun. And
Yeah.
I can remember we are going to get to worship stuff eventually. But I can remember when I married Trent, being so excited to like decorate our house, like buying a house together, decorating a house and all these things. But Trent's a graphic designer. And I guess because he has designer in the title of his job, he thinks that he designs everything. And so I remember being so frustrated that I didn't get like full autonomy of the designing of our home, like nothing. Like even I like wanted to get like catty corner or something. I can remember I wanted to catty corner. Also, catty corner or kitty corner?
Catty is what I say.
Okay, I have heard kitty corner so many times recently, and it is driving me crazy.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway.
Wrong, whoever said that.
Thank you. But yeah, I wanted to catty corner something, and he was like, "No, we do straight lines in this house. We do not do that." And I was like, "Oh no."
Oh no.
Anyway, but we don't have anything catty cornered in our house, so he wins, and it just is frustrating to me. But
Y'all have a beautiful home.
thank you, Dallin. I was going to say, but he does a good job, so whatever. And God has allowed us to come together a little bit on some stuff, and we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Well, I'm glad that you guys are here. You're here because you are worship leaders on the stage, leading our congregation, our people in worship every week, and you do a really good job of it. Like I truly, and maybe it's just me maturing over the years, but like I recognize the significance of what you guys do. It's not just singing. Like you guys are literally ushering the Holy Spirit into the place, and I feel that. And I hope that other people are able to recognize that too. But just talk to me a little bit about how you first stepped into leading worship, because as somebody who doesn't lead worship, I feel like that is the most intimidating thing in the whole wide world, is to be vulnerable enough to share your singing voice in front of people.
What you do is so intimidating too, though.
That's silly. That's silly. Nobody hears the garbage coming out of my mouth when I sing. So, okay. So how did that get started for you guys? Aaron, would you want to jump in on
I
that?
can start. So I mean, I've always sang my whole life, and I knew there was something there. I mean, so when I first started going to church, I was 18, fresh out of high school, and my mom had actually walked up to Tad and said, "Hey, my daughter can sing." And like, my mom's not one that's just gonna like blow smoke, right? So, but you never know when you hear somebody say, "Oh, my kid can sing." So you're like, "Oh yeah, okay." So a lady was supposed to come, and she was like a guest worship leader for the weekend. And it was like literally 20 minutes before this woman is supposed to be here and be on. And like, so they were like, "Let's just practice the song." And I was in the choir. I was kind of just in the back. I wasn't on the team or anything. And they like pulled the microphone over to me, and I just started singing her song. And they had walked back into the auditorium and thought that the lady was there to sing. Oh. And so then they were kind of like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you need to sing. You need to try." And so then fast forward, we came to Hope, and so I just basically had this weird audition process of like American Idol type thing, where there was 3 judges, Bryant, the worship leader, another worship leader at the time, and Trent, your husband. And
Was he like Simon, or was he like Randy? Like what degree?
Trent was definitely like Paula. He was the nice one. He was the nice one.
Paula.
He was the nice one.
Oh, that's so good. I will forever use
singing
that.
"Happy Birthday," and then all of a sudden it was just kind of like it catapulted from there. So became an intern under Bryant for a year, and just kind of been here ever since.
That's really cool. I like that. I like your audition story. That's fun. Okay, real quick. Do you play any other instruments?
I play a little bit of guitar, like enough to practice if I need to, but I don't like playing with a band or a click track. It just throws me off. So, but just a little bit.
So you could just go out acoustic one day and be. Like on Sunday, maybe?
Yeah.
Or
She'll just
closer.
twitch a little bit.
She's like, what am I promising?
I'm like, wait, what are you asking, Jenny? Just set up?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I do think it's so cool that you play guitar, though. I wanted to make sure other people knew that, too.
Yeah, it's very cool.
All right. Dallin?
Sure, I'll go. So, man, I've been singing a long time. The earliest memory of it, we have it on VHS and home video of me, like 4 or 5, singing with my mom. But as the older I got, I was like, I don't want to sing. I'd rather play an instrument. So, because naturally, like the cool thing to do would be to play like saxophone in a band. That's what I did in middle school. So I played saxophone, and then I started playing drums. In high school, I was like, I'm playing guitar. So nothing, like singing's done. I'm done that. I buried that. And so when I came back from college, I came to New Covenant, and I just started singing with some friends of mine, not like worship, anything at all. We were just like hanging out and after school and stuff in high school, and singing songs that we were making up and stuff anyways. But when I came back from college to New Covenant, the youth pastor was like, oh, you sing? Get up there. And I don't know, I look back now, I'm like, should I have been up there at that point? I, kind of rebuild my faith from wandering for a while. And, but I don't know, it just, naturally it became, it just felt like what I was supposed to do in the ministry capacity. And it is rough at first. 18, 19, you think you know everything about something when you start out.
Funny?
So, but a lot of growing through that. And, some of the most formative years in my faith were, kind of as I started to lead worship is with a youth group, and on Sunday mornings as well. But that was, let's see, it was like 2011. So it's been a while now.
Yeah.
But looking back, it's seriously some of the best years of my life going through that.
Yeah. So if on Sunday, Wes called out and said he could not play the drums, are you capable of stepping in?
I want to put this on record. Absolutely not.
I really am just trying to call you guys up.
Especially when you said Wes called out, like,
Yeah.
Wes, really?
I used to be, I actually played at my old church. I would play
Okay.
drums. But I didn't practice the drums like I practiced guitar and stuff. So it wasn't, I could keep the beat and everything and get us through the song, but like the worship is so, a lot of it is very drum driven with the way the builds and the drives and the song, and I couldn't keep up with that.
Maybe just like a box drum?
Yeah.
When Erin is doing her acoustic set, you could add.
You can play box
I
drum.
did box, yeah.
Perfect.
I would love to play piano, but I have not.
I know, me too.
gotten to it.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah. My Meemaw, she played the piano and the organ for her church for like my whole life, which wasn't that long, but for her whole life probably,
Yeah.
I guess. And she was a piano teacher and everything. And literally the only thing I can play on the piano is Mary Had a Little Lamb, which is so sad. Oh, and Chopsticks.
Beautiful.
Chopsticks. Yeah.
I'm sure.
Like what? I missed opportunity there that I did not step into that. Anyway.
Well, my grandma did the same thing, and that's kind of where I started.
Okay.
So she played at our church. She was always involved, like putting on some kind of show or cantata or like singing. And so somehow, like I did not grow up in that church, but it was like, I'm going to church when I go see grandma.
Yeah.
So of course, grandma's like, all right, we got a song to learn.
Yeah. Right.
So, yes, very musical family. So I grew up singing sporadically, I guess, like with the children's choir and stuff. And then actually my youth pastor, which I feel like that's a common thing with a lot of us, it's like the youth pastors, like, you can do this. Like they encourage it. So I was actually away at a camp, and we were doing like the same songs every night at the camp, and I don't know, just they ended up passing me a mic one day, and I'm like, well, I'll sing in the mic, and then everybody's like, oh, why don't you sing more often? So we actually came back from the camp that Sunday, and I sang on the stage at the church.
Wow.
And was completely nervous the whole time, but that was kind of my first like experience with that. But worship leading has definitely been a journey for me, like a lot like Dallin. When I started out doing it, I would say I definitely probably was not in the best position to be in a leadership position, like trying to lead other people in worship. But so I definitely like, I've grown a lot, but then, you know, I took a season off and had to experience a lot of personal growth. And then now just like coming back as the old person, you know, but I have a lot of like life experience under the belt. So like, aside from any kind of vocal talent or anything that I feel like I might have, like, it's just the story that I feel like I have to tell in that. So.
Well, and I think that that's a really cool thing that you bring up, and that's really what I was referring to when I said that, like, y'all were leading, like, ushering the Holy Spirit into the place. And I will say, and Dallin, you do a great job of this every week.
I do.
I mean, just phenomenal job. Aaron and Amy at the Linked Women's Day event that we had here just a few weeks back, you guys did so good at you just started the conversation. You know, you started the conversation, and at the beginning of the event, like just y'all's conversation back and forth. And then at the end, Amy, when you were, you had shared a story, and I resonated with it. And it's not even that, like I was in just a broken place. It was just that your story allowed me, just being an empath, I guess, just to feel the hurt in the room and the freedom that was needed. And it just sent me into a place of just worship, just asking God to just bring freedom and, you know, things like that. And I was like, how'd they just do that? Like, what? I was not in this place, and now I'm in this place. And so anyway, it's just it is. But you guys talking about like your posture going into it, going into leading worship, like there's singing and then there's leading. Yeah. And those are two very different things. Yes, and definitely. I guess I just want to speak to when I said just the difference in how I used to experience worship leaders versus how I have experienced you guys leading worship here at this place. It's a really special thing.
And that's also something that you can't like teach somebody. How to do.
What a great point.
So it's definitely like a posture that you come in with, and you can't teach that.
No, right. You can't teach confidence, and you can't teach having that identity because there's like the worship leader identity that you hold on to, but there's also like you have to be rooted in that identity in God first, because I think there's a lot of times where like when you take time off or you take moments and you're like, okay, I need a break, because it is a lot, and it's a heavy burden to carry sometimes, but it's worth every second when you're on the stage and you can see the life change happening, and you're just a vessel through that. Like it's I don't even know how to it's a whole different experience. You can't explain it.
There's the posture for sure, and then and this is one of the things that I had to learn talking about going on this journey is that, say, Jenny, you're in the congregation, your voice is a lot more important than mine, even though we're the worship leaders and we're kind of leading the moment. It's just, it took me a while, like, you know, I'm going to sing these songs and, you know, people are going to sing with me and all this. And like, no, it's a way for people to connect to the heart of the Father. And I think, Amy, you were talking about it a couple weeks ago, like you're a lyric person and like the stories that these songs can tell. And some people, especially men, like I can't tell you exactly what I feel, but like I can hear something and then like, okay, that I need to hear more of this. I need to, like, this is speaking to me in this moment. I remember when we did Good Plans, the first time Parker was leading it, and then the room was like a mess. Like people were dealing with stuff, and like Bryant's in the MD, I'm like, y'all, people are like dealing with stuff. Like, this is awesome. Keep going, keep going. And it's just, we say it a lot. Our job is to play the bride down the aisle. Like our job is to put Jesus and allow his glory and his goodness and grace to be on display. Right. It's not to display our talents. It's just a way to be a vessel for the Holy Spirit to move. So.
Absolutely.
We were talking earlier before we kind of jumped on here about how long you guys have been here. But how has the worship culture evolved? And so like, as we're talking right now, I'm realizing that maybe it's just the culture that has evolved. And that's what I have recognized in addition to probably also just me hopefully maturing, but
I think too, it's definitely something that we've tried to build Because I think about when we first started, so I've been here since pretty much day one of Hope Church. And I mean, we used to come out, and I think this was a time in worship, like Christian ministry, like worship ministry was, you did secular songs. So like you came out and you did, I mean, I've done everything from Bon Jovi, Taylor Swift, The Grinch, like I've done everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, but now we wouldn't even think about doing something like that. Like we have, and even in our students, like I said before, I do a lot with our students, they want that. Like I have to force them into doing like, hey, not every little sixth grader wants to listen to you be in deep, intimate worship. But, and I think it goes back to knowing your audience and knowing the people in the congregation of what is the seasons that we're all walking through. And I think that as you were growing as a church, you start with what gets people in, like what makes them comfortable. And that was a season of making people comfortable. And now we're in a season of, we're going to make you comfortable up front, but we are going to make you be a little bit uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
Because that's where
Growth takes place.
Exactly.
Yeah. 100%.
So I say definitely, like the word that keeps coming to mind is like maturity. So like where we started, it was almost like, I don't know, like a teenager mindset.
Yeah.
Like coming into it, but just
Adolescence.
the maturity that's come along with like the growth and the perspectives and like how that culture shift has taken place. It's definitely been, it's just been a maturing process is what I would say is the best thing.
Yeah.
Well, I've been here since 2019, so I missed all that stuff. But I do remember that being huge. I remember watching churches on YouTube, and I'm like, these guys could be playing like anywhere. Like they're playing all this stuff. Anyhow, but I think one of the things that has helped shift our culture to this point is that when we plan set lists, like we know what our pastor is going to be speaking on.
Yeah.
And so he is as much of a part of his planning the set list as we are, because we have, the themes, the message, the series, the scriptures. And so then we can kind of help tell this story, starting with the scripture passages and then the themes of the morning, and we try our best to find songs that fit these themes. It doesn't always work like that. But I think that piece is so important because, Pastor Tad is, it's what he's the one's preaching the messages on Sunday morning. And so we're trying to get ourselves and the congregation we're able to receive that and in a mindset of thinking about, before we even get to the message, we're kind of already thinking about, the theme of it or what God's doing.
taking them on that journey.
Right. Yeah. And we're telling, and I keep saying it, but we're telling a story of an awesome God and his great grace and love for us every week. And so, and then to come in, like the closers especially, like those are super intentional to kind of tie into the message because we obviously want people thinking about it, but then we want that reflective moment of, even if we're not singing, like we're just listening and letting the Holy Spirit work. So I think that piece has been really important as far as even in the short few years that I've been here, I've seen such a shift in how our church worships.
Well, and especially too with the closers, I feel like now that we have the prayer team, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
Because it is more of that reflective piece, which is why we are very intentional on the closing song. Because
The word is intentional.
Yeah.
Every aspect of the whole worship experience is intentional.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's why it's important to have this conversation on a public platform where people can hear it, because as somebody, and you guys are all in the worship scene, I'm not. Like, I'm 100% out of it, right? And so if I didn't have the opportunity to hear this conversation or talk to my husband, who is part of this worship team too, I don't know that I would recognize that there are dots to be connected. But hearing that and knowing to look for it, I feel like it changes your perspective. It allows you to go deeper and to just kind of take it a step further. It gives you another tool to use on a Sunday morning to just increase that connection to what the Holy Spirit is just presenting in that moment.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool. Okay, so Dallin, you talked about the set list planning and that sort of thing, and you guys are actually, after this episode is finished, you guys are going to kind of shift over to another area and work on the set list planning going forward for the next series. What does that look like? What does that get together look like? And how? But how do you find, like, these are the songs? Like, are you guys listening to specific artists? Are you listening, or are you just like, hey, let me go back to 2010 when this song came out because I really connected? Yeah. So what does that look like?
It's one of y'all go ahead, but yeah, like a little bit of both. But Amy,
I'm always listening. I mean, anytime a new album drops, like I'm listening, or I'll just let my playlist go, or find a station that I like and just let it go. And then sometimes like something will jump out at me. And we also have to think about, just because it's a song that we love doesn't always mean that it's going to like translate well on a Sunday morning. So I have my songs that I jam to, and songs that are like set apart for church.
I would imagine, and I don't know, you tell me if this is true or not, but I would imagine it would be so hard for me to separate I can sing this really well. Like these are my notes versus this is what the congregation, the people could sing with me and engage in with me.
Yeah, and that's something that has also come with the process of it that we've just kind of learned over time. And so a lot of times I can listen to a song and know almost right away, like, okay, like I feel like they would track with this, or no, it's not going to be. It's got too many words or something like that.
Yeah, it's wordy,
But definitely that. But I'm all about the old school. Like I like to mix it up. Like we're gonna put a song in there from 2025. Like let's go back to 2014 and put something from that in there
old
too.
And let's do something.
Yeah. So just and a lot of times you can go back and pull in those old songs and it feels fresh.
Yeah.
So we've done that recently.
I was gonna say a few weeks ago that was really fun. I really enjoyed it.
No, I mean, we just kind of all get together, and I think we kind of base it off of like, okay, these are like hyper songs, like these are going to get the crowd going, and then we have like our mid tempos, and then we have like our more intimates, and a lot of the times the third list has a lot more on there. I feel like, so it's really hard for us to find first upfront songs, but I mean, I feel like we all kind of bring in our own. I think that's why there's a few of us on the team that kind of get together and do it. We bring in our different styles and our different, what we're listening to, what we're connecting to, because it also is important that if that's a song that you really resonate with, you can feel that in the audience. And it's something that you can't fake that. And so like, I think about like Great Is, and when I came out and like I sang that for the first time and it hit the first time. And I think it does come with the fact that it's an easy song to sing, but it's also a song that like every person in the audience can connect to.
Yeah.
And then the person leading it is also very connected to it as well.
I think that's important too. Like when you are leading a song, like you have to be able to have some kind of connection with that song.
People can pick up on the funny stuff immediately. Like if you're just like, there is songs that I'm like, I hate this song, but I'm gonna sing it and I'm gonna act like I love it. But you also have to remember that it is a song that is praising God. And so even if it's not your favorite song, and I have to tell this to the kids all the time, I'm like, I know you don't want to sing this song, but it is still a song that is glorifying God. And so remember that as you're huffing and puffing. And I have to tell myself that too.
No, that's really good. I mean, I think singability is obviously an important thing that we look for. And again, I think we've all gotten, and it's something that's come with maturity as we've grown as worship leaders. Like, we can hear a song, we're like, this is a banger. Like the church is going to love this. And then there's songs that, like Amy just said, like I would love to sing this song, but if we go out there, it'll feel more about me because I love this song so much. And like some people aren't just going to connect with it, and maybe one person would, and that's great and everything. But again, it just comes with the territory of like we're here to serve the church. Like we're just because we're in an elevated position on the stage is literally elevated. Like we're not elevated above anybody else. And we really have to be intentional about the season that our church is in. If there's things going on, or like, hey, I think Great Is would be, or Good Plans would be a really good song for this moment in time in our church. And because of that, I feel like, again, going back to the culture shift, I think we see that in our congregation. Like the last even 2-3 weeks, worship has been incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the response of the church, the engagement of the church, and has just been like I've not seen it in a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know. And so, like Aaron said, we're kind of a bunch of squirrels running around set list planning sometimes. It does feel like that. But being able to sit down, with the people who lead the songs and who also have like a pulse on the heartbeat of the church.
Yeah.
I think is just invaluable.
Yeah.
Because, we're as invested in it, as Tad is, and Aaron, when she's not leading worship, she's right in the front row worshiping.
She's leading
and
worship.
Leading
She's
worship.
leading worship. And, same for Amy and myself. Like when we're not leading worship, like we're in the congregation. So
Yeah.
we kind of see it from both sides. And that's another big, important piece of it.
Yeah.
Well, I think too, if they see you in the congregation, they know you're on stage every other week or whatever your schedule is, and then they see you out in the audience, they know it's not like I'm just there to
Show up for
perform
Sunday.
when I'm on
Right.
stage. Like
Yeah.
I'm here because I love worship. I believe in our worship team. I believe in our church, and I'm just going to rally that, and I'm going to bring the kids up there with me too.
Yeah.
Well, I think with that too, it's one thing for you guys being on the stage to lead worship and have your hands up and that sort of thing. But when you're in the audience and you're allowing other people to feel the freedom of, she's got her hands up, I guess it's safe to do it. It's breaking that barrier from the stage to and I know that there's no intention that there would be a barrier, but the reality is that it is. And so I think that that's important. Just having the temperature setters, I guess.
Yeah.
Not saying that it's staged.
Awesome too. Sorry. It's awesome too, just to take that step back sometimes and like receive
Yes.
worship. So like,
Yeah.
there's times, as much as I want to be like, oh yeah, there's times that I'm there and I'm just like, I'm not even singing. I just
Right.
want to like
Absorbing,
receive the
yeah.
worship.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
and that's awesome too, just to be able to take that step back from the perspective of the church and like
Yeah.
receive there too.
Yeah, for sure. You saying that, it just kind of, this is off, and I didn't tell you guys I was going to ask you this question, but is there a specific moment that you can remember being in just such deep worship that just the Holy Spirit, just you experienced something that you have, I don't know, that just took you to another place? And the reason it came in my head, Amy, is because, I don't know if you remember this, but I mean, it has to have been maybe 10 years ago. I don't think Trent and I were married yet. But we had gone to a Hillsong concert. Do you remember that?
I remember.
Anyway, and I'm pretty sure it was the, is it So Will I? Like times a million or 10,000 or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it was that song, and they were singing that song, and we were like up in the nosebleeds, I'm pretty sure. But you talking about just that moment of just like closing your eyes and just being still. And I can remember, y'all, it literally in that moment, I felt like I was floating. Like it was like no weight in the world could hold me down. It was just, I just felt like I was in the presence of Jesus, But have you guys, I mean, you guys are feelers, you're worship leaders. Like you certainly have had these moments. But is there anything that like comes to mind specifically? Or when you are in that place, what is that for you?
So Aaron and I led a song, and it's probably been over a year now that we did Agnes Day together. And so we were on the stage, but for me, if I could have just walked out right then and just been like, put my microphone down, I'm done,
Yeah.
because it literally felt like like heaven was in the room. And those are some of my favorite songs to do when we're singing about like how holy the Lord is and how worthy the Lord is. And all I can picture is this is what heaven is going to be like.
Yeah.
Like that's just what it feels like. But in that moment, like just the church was just screaming it out. And it just was like out of this world, like definitely top moment.
Oh yeah,
for me.
that was a good Sunday.
But yeah,
I
that's
love
my
that you guys
favorite.
both remember it so
Yeah,
clearly.
as soon as I knew where she was going with it, I was like, yeah, that was a really good Sunday. I mean, there's definitely, I get emotional a lot on stage. Like, I definitely am not someone who can hold it back. Like, I have very big emotions, and so, but one time when you were talking about Hillsong, I remember going to the Elevation live recording when they did this. I can't remember what album it was, but it's the one that Resurrecting is on. I was having so much panic while we were there because it was so many people, and it was at the Bobcats Arena, and this lady came up to us and she could see that I was nervous and I was panicking because there was no like assigned seats. So it was like you could basically have to run in and find a seat. And she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And she was like, "Well, she's like, "You want to sit over here?" And so me and my, it was my stepmom and another friend of mine, we all sat and we ended up sitting on the floor. And I just remember like when they started singing Resurrecting, it was like everything I was feeling just went away. Like I was in the moment, I was present, and I was just sobbing. And I had never heard that song before.
Yeah.
Like these were songs that they had not released. And to this day, I can listen to that song and I'm going to start sobbing like immediately.
Yeah.
So.
I think for me, there's a moment. There was a conference. There was a group of us were leading that, and we were playing. It's a Corey Asbury song. It might be a Bethel song, but Corey Asbury saying it's "My Soul Sings." So it's over and over again. My soul sings. My soul sings. How I love you, just over and over, and it's like a youth conference, and all these kids are singing it, and the breaker tripped or something, like right in the middle of this huge build, like we were getting into it. And I'm like, we're about to drop this out.
Satan.
And
Today.
so we're kind of looking around, as we do, and we're like, what the heck just happened? But everybody else, like, they're still singing, and they're still singing loud.
Yeah.
And so, like, I look over. I think I was playing electric at the time, and I told the guy playing the acoustic, I'm like, keep it going. And like just in that moment, I learned a lot that like you're not going to stop a movement of the Holy Spirit.
There you go.
God, and there's nothing's going to stop it. Like the lights could have gone out, like they could have kicked us out in the parking lot, and I think they would have still been singing that song.
Yeah.
It just, and again, talking about maturity, I was, I don't know, probably 19, 20 years old. And that was just a humbling moment because it's like, they don't need any of us. Like,
Yeah, there
like
you go.
we're not essential employees, so to speak. Like, God doesn't need any of us, but he chooses to use us and allow us to be a part of telling his story.
Yeah.
And that is, we talked about this Sunday, that is one of the reasons I think that he is so worthy of our worship, because he doesn't need us, but he allows us to be a part of this amazing adventure and story, and to see, like, one of my biggest things that I love about leading worship is seeing other people like experience like his goodness. Like we talked about it earlier with Parker singing Good Plans. Like people are dealing with stuff. Like we're all like we're dealing with stuff, and to see people come in and be just lay it all out before God, and just people just having to sit down and pray, or they're in tears because of maybe some things that are going on in their life. Just seeing God work in those ways is just so humbling.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Easter is coming up soon. Is that maybe what this worship set planning day is about? I'm not sure.
Might be there.
But
I get there. You never know.
but as you're planning for bigger days like Easter, like Christmas at Hope, things like that, what is different about those planning times? What does that look like? Is there anything that you can kind of spoiler alert for us for Easter this year?
I I think there are expectations that come with Easter and Christmas. Even people coming to church, like they expect certain things. Like I think this past year at Christmas, we did something different than what we've done in the past. And I think people really resonated with that.
Yeah,
Just
it
kind
was
of
a great
stripping it
response.
back and, you know, playing some of those older Christmas songs. Easter, we try not, I don't know, we might change it up, I don't know. But we try not to change up the formula of what we have as far as playing the set list. Now, the theme, obviously leading up, like last year, I know we really kind of looked at, you know, the weeks leading to Easter, like resurrection is going to be like the theme. Like there's going to be at least one song like we're going to play Rattle. Like we're going to do something
Yeah.
exciting and awesome and, you know, just put the resurrection at the forefront. And I don't know, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself and, you know, not spoil anything for what we're doing, but, you know, I think, I don't know, I don't want to change too much because I feel like what we have, you know, what we've got going on so far is working, but, you know, just looking at how we can take our services and kind of just point it to the cross and point it to the empty grave and,
I think we just maybe add a little bit more special elements, like you were saying. Like last year we did the choir.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure if
Yeah.
we're doing that again or not, but I loved being able to have the extra voices and it just it sounds like heaven. It's
Yeah.
when you have all these just not random people, but you know, you have our whole team together, like our whole, like all of our vocalists just come together because we don't ever get to do that.
Yes.
So like there's times where we don't sing together for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's really cool to have the whole team there and who all have a heart for worship and especially on a big event like that. So
yeah.
But it's definitely I would say very similar to what we would typically, like how we would
Yeah.
typically plan and just wanting to be aligned with Tad's vision, his message, and try to incorporate it all. So
This is random, but it made me think of it. Do you guys have conversations about coordinating outfits? Because I'm telling you guys, sometimes
we really don't.
sometimes y'all walk out on the stage and all of y'all are in denim.
Yeah.
Or
it is crazy. Like it'll be like you're wearing all black, I'm wearing all white, and she's got black and white. Like it's crazy how we do that. Or like
sometimes, I'll walk in, I'll be like, I think we need to take a family portrait.
Yeah.
All like,
No,
we're,
it's
like
so
we're not
funny.
exactly matching, but we're like matching in some way.
exactly.
I mean, we do try not to like wear the brightest orange safety vest
Yeah.
on a
Right.
Sunday morning,
We
but
have
like
kind of a dress code, so
Yeah.
maybe that's where it happens.
Yeah, we do.
So-
Yeah. We try to like do like darker, like earth, like
Yeah.
stuff, like what we have on would be
but I feel
great.
like that's
Yeah.
not my normal
Right, it's what I wear.
everyday
Like,
stuff.
you know, I don't have like a worship leader section in my closet I pull from. It's just, you know.
Yeah.
I got you.
It's okay if you did, don't.
All right, y'all. We are going to be wrapping it up. But I just want to know, just maybe to end on a funny note, do you have like a big just worship leader fail moment that you would be
gosh.
vulnerable enough to share to just kind of go back down memory lane? Do you remember a specific?
Ew.
Oh, I have a few that are coming to mind.
I cannot think of anything. Hold on. Y'all go.
What? Are you kidding me?
Y'all go first. Y'all go
Aaron
first.
has no fails.
No, I definitely
I
do.
definitely, one of the biggest ones for me, like,
Oh, Amy's getting so embarrassed. This is fun. I'm sorry. You don't-
I mean, it wasn't even that long ago, but we were doing a key change for a song, like we had done song 1, it might have been 2, but we were doing a key change for the song that I was about to lead. Well, I guess, I don't know if it was like the pad that was in my ear that was like in the other key. So when we started the song that I was singing, I started it off key. And then the whole band like came in and it was so bad. Like it was so bad. But then I didn't realize it in the moment. So like,
no.
and I came off stage and
correct.
was like, what happened? Like, no, it was me. It was actually me. It was me. But yeah, that was, I mean, it's really embarrassing when, you know, the whole church hears it. And they're like,
Well, here's what I would say to you guys, and maybe I'm just horribly musically inclined or declined. I don't know what you call it, but I don't notice mess ups. So
I feel like that was
It's
pretty
because we made so many, we've gotten pretty good at hiding them.
there you go.
Mine's similar. Like a capo is a fantastic tool for guitar. It'll let you change the key and play the same chord shapes, anyways. But if you don't have it on the right fret, one fret off, or it's bad. It's really bad. We were playing outdoors at a little event, and my capo was on the wrong fret, and I'm just leading. I'm like, this feels high. And like my bass player over here is struggling for his life because he's playing the right key. And I'm like, what are you doing over there?
He is not
And
complimentary
so then
to you.
he just like is starting to pretend that something's wrong with his amp because he's just trying to hide it. And then he comes up, he's like, you really threw me out to the wolves on that one. I'm like, I know. It was embarrassing for like my band, like me and like the band and stuff. But like you said, like most people don't notice that stuff.
Sure, yeah.
I do know one time we were playing It Might Get Loud at like a night of worship, and the guitar starts the song. So the click is starting in our ears, and it's like intro 2, 3, 4, and I don't hear any guitar. I turn around and our guitar player is just smiling at me. Like he doesn't have his in-ears on. And so we start singing, and then Bryant's like, hey guys, we got to start this song over. So like in the middle of the verse, I'm like, we're going to start this over. Like, start the night over. The church, they're just laughing and clapping.
Right.
But I don't know. It feels like you're this big when stuff like that happens.
I want to speak to you saying that like there is something about just being authentic in the moment and saying, okay, wait a second.
We got to roll it back.
Yep, start over. I mean, as somebody in the audience, like I truly, like that's like, oh, you're real too. Okay, you mess up just like me. So it's, I again, don't take it as like
I specifically remember that happening, and I remember it for that reason, because I'm like, that was so real for him to just
yeah.
Okay.
all right, we're just going to try again.
Yeah, and fun that, like you said, the audience is clapping. Like, this is fun. Let's do it again.
I can't remember any of like, I mean, there's definitely been like voice cracks messing up with the click tracks, but I remember one Sunday we had, mine is just me. I am like, we had a trailer out in the front, and it was like an outside service. I can't remember if it was COVID or before that or what it was. And I have little tiny short legs, and I work with a lot of people who have tall, big legs, and I had to step up on this like step ladder, but the step was too big, and we're getting ready to go out, and it's me, Bryant, and Joe. And Bryant gets up there fine, Joe gets up there fine. I go to step, and I face plant it on that trailer.
no.
And Bryant just turns back around, laughs at me.
No, he
like,
didn't.
Are you good? Are you good? I'm good. Yeah, so I definitely had like tripping moments and wardrobe malfunctions, but
that was more so where I thought this was going to go. Like, I fell off
have
the
a really-
stage or,
yeah.
something like that.
I have a terrible wardrobe one, but I just
remember that one.
I just ran off stage, and everybody just thought my batteries died. So
Aaron is also notorious for not being on the stage.
oh yeah, it's my signature like trademark. Like 5 seconds
Oh,
till.
we're always like, she's
Yeah.
going to come.
Yeah, she makes it.
She's always out there,
like to-
zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a little Easter egg for people listening. Like, okay, next time Aaron's on stage, see when she came out on stage.
No, it's literally like a thing. People will be looking at me, and they're like,
Yep, here she comes. All right, well, it's been fun talking to you guys. And Aaron, you saying that you're like a Hope Talks guru, you know that we end with like some fun questions. So I just really quick, just want to ask like a this or that kind of thing for you guys. And you can explain if we need to, but maybe there's no need. But anyway, so I'm just going to go through each of you answer. We'll start with Dallin and go this way each time. Okay. And then we'll head out. But this or that, talking or texting?
Texting.
Okay.
texting.
Texting.
Wow. Okay, but let me tell you.
introverts.
Okay, you're right. But I feel like the young people would be pointing out the fact that like they're always like FaceTiming and
FaceTiming.
Yeah.
If you would have said FaceTiming, I probably would have said FaceTiming.
Oh, really?
I just said texting.
I do not call people normally ever, like ever.
the idea
I FaceTime everyone.
I need somebody to see me at any point in time in my life is silly. Like
Anytime somebody FaceTimes me, I'm like, why? are they
decline.
FaceTiming?
Okay, so texting or FaceTime for Aaron. Okay, chips and salsa or chips and queso?
That's hard.
It's not hard. It's chips and salsa. Yeah.
I would say, I'm going to say queso. Chips and queso.
Salsa. Oh, but only La Fiesta salsa. It's superior.
Okay, I like to dip my chips in the
Yeah, I was like, I
queso
want
and
both.
then grab the salsa.
Yeah.
I don't want to have
You're
to
the one
choose.
that getting queso.
Yes,
I get the salsa mess.
Me too.
Yeah. But you should try it, Dylan. Don't hate on it. You try it, okay? Oh, okay. Yeah, well, you get your own salsa container, okay?
Well,
You got to share the queso. That's why you dip the queso first, then mess up your own salsa. All right, fill in the blank. Taylor Swift is... I did this for Aaron because Aaron is a Swiftie.
And I'm giving
Taylor
him
Swift.
the eyes right now.
in all, I'm not going to take anything away from her. She's incredibly successful and talented, but I do think she's overrated.
Taylor Swift is overrated. What you got, Aaron May?
Underrated. No, I'm just kidding. No,
Wow.
I think she's an incredible performer, and I think she's a good human being, and I love her, and I'm stan her. We love you, Taylor Swift.
But she is what? One word. One word, Aaron May.
I can't pick one word. He didn't pick. Oh, he said under.
Oh, yeah. And,
I did.
Oh, yeah, you did. Gosh, I'm struggling here.
oh, sorry. I really messed y'all up.
Yeah.
I don't know one word. I can't say one word about Taylor. I'm sorry. I can't do that.
This is why I asked this question because of you, Aaron. All right. All right, Amy, what you got?
I can't think of anything. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was a flop. Doggone. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Last one. Name something that starts with the letter Q. Quick. What you got?
Quilt.
Oh, wow. Did you hear me? Quick. All right. What? Quilt.
Queso. Does that count?
Is queso Q?
Queso is.
Wow. Okay. Yes, that's great, Aaron May. Good job. You said
said
quiet.
quiet.
Very good. Very good. Okay. All right. Well, hey, this was fun. I'm so glad that we finally throw the microphone. I'm so glad that we were finally able to get together.
Yes.
So thank you guys for your time, and I'm excited for what this set list planning that you are fixing to go into, what that brings for our Sunday morning.
Yes.
So this is gonna be good. Thank you, Jen. All right. Awesome. Bye, friends.
Thank you.
Yep.